You know, growing up in Michigan and fishing through all seasons of the year, I've learned that, you know, as important as water temperature is, it's a lot more overrated and really overthought by a lot of anglers. You know, the bass up here, they live under the ice in the winter and they still have to eat. So I've learned that, you know, cold water isn't necessarily a negative to where they just aren't going to chase a bait, or they're not going to move, or they're just going to get inactive, because that's really not the case. You know, I know that in colder water periods I'm going to have to slow down, and in warmer water periods, you know, it's also going to affect the movement and the aggressiveness of the fish. But don't think just because the water temperature is a certain set number that the bass aren't spawning. You know, I mean, it's just a general rule. So I know that in real cold conditions, bass can still bite moving baits. And it's relative to the region of the country, because I can tell you that like 45-degree water in Michigan, the bass are still pretty darned aggressive. Where if you have 45-degree water in Texas, I mean, that is as cold as it really ever gets. And that's a real shock to their system. And they're gonna be very inactive down there. So water temperature is very relative to the region of the country you're in. But to me, it's more important that the time of the year, the general seasonal pattern, and the conditions kind of trump the water temperature itself. So I have a water temperature gauge on my boat, and I look for those changes or those trends, you know, as I'm out there on the water. If I can find an area of the lake when the water's colder, that's 3 or 4 or 5 degrees warmer than another area, that's a positive thing. So, and the same goes true in the summer when it's warm, is if it's 85 or 90 degrees in a lot of areas and you can find a section of the lake where it's a little bit cooler, that can make those fish a much more aggressive too. So in general, I pay attention to the water temperature, but I don't let it rule the way I fish.